Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It's July 30th. I'm Karen Greer.
Good morning. I'm Gurveer Dinsa. Here's a look at some of the day's top headlines. CBS46 staying on top of breaking news. A boil water advisory in effect for thousands of Metro Atlanta residents.
A heads up to people who live or work on the south side of town, specifically the cities of South Fulton, Union City, Fairburn, and a big portion of southwest Atlanta around Cascade. Now, CBS 46's Rebecca Schramm live with what you need to do today before, you get out and make that cup of coffee or brush your teeth even. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning, Karen and Gurveer. Yeah, if you live in Union City or one of the other affected areas southwest of the city, you need to use bottled water this morning. And if you don't have any, you'll probably want to boil your drinking water. Here's what happened. It all started with a power outage at the Adamsville pump station that caused low water pressure in a portion of the drinking water system that serves the cities of South Fulton, Union City, and Fairburn, as well as a portion of southwest Atlanta along Cascade Road and Benjamin E. Mays Drive between Avon Avenue and Fairburn Road. The system was restored to normal operations in a little more than an hour, but anytime there's a fluctuation in pressure, that can shake loose particles in the pipes that can cause health problems, particularly among babies, the elderly, and people with immune deficiencies. So just to be on the safe side, the Department of Watershed Management wants you to boil any tap water that you're planning to use for cooking or brushing your teeth until they give the all clear. As far as when that will be, we'll keep you posted. We're going to have updates today on our CBS 46 app. Live in Union City this morning, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Rebecca, thank you so much. A huge hack exposing the personal information of more than 100 million people.
Capital One says that breach happened earlier this year. The credit card already taking steps to repair its relationship with the public. Adam is in studio now with the services Capital One is offering, as well as what charges somebody is now facing.
Well, this is a major data breach affecting about 100 million here in the U.S. and another 6 million in Canada. Federal cyber investigators today pointing now to a former Seattle software engineer who was arrested Monday. They say she was taken in on suspicion of computer fraud and abuse of the Capital One Financial Corporation's stored data. The U.S. Attorney's Office announcing a 33-year-old was linked to online posts about data theft about 2 weeks ago. The software engineer appeared in court Monday and will likely remain in custody at least through the end of the week when her next hearing is. According to reports, she gained access to about 140,000 Social Security numbers, 80,000 bank account numbers, an undisclosed number of names, addresses, credit scores, credit limits, and balances. The same report claiming that she wanted to share that information with others online, according to the criminal complaint. She used to work on the tech side of the cloud hosting company that Capital One was using. The company says no credit card account numbers or logins were compromised, and over 99% of the Social Security numbers were also not compromised, but that is not 100%. The company is now notifying customers, and they'll make free credit monitoring and identity protection services available. They're set to lose between $100 and $150 million in costs alone related to this hack. Now, Capital One's data breach comes only a week after Equifax announced a massive settlement of their own, up to $700 million following its own data breach that exposed the private information of nearly 150 million customers. Gurveer?
Something to certainly watch. Adam, thanks. Henry County jurors will be back in court today as they consider the fate of a couple accused of murdering their foster child. Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum say 2-year-old Layla Daniel died from failed life-saving efforts after choking on a piece of chicken. But prosecutors say that's not what happened. They say the little girl died from a pattern of abuse. And now to video that you're only going to see on CBS 46. We're following up on a story that we first brought you yesterday morning as breaking news. Our camera was there as 3 suspected burglars surrendered in a Lithonia neighborhood. You can see them right there at the bottom of your screen, literally crawling out of the Creekford Drive home on their hands and knees as a SWAT team waits outside. DeKalb County Police say the break-in turned into a standoff that lasted for several hours. Neighbors tell us the homeowners were out of town.
Well, an investigator with the Gwinnett County Medical Examiner's Office resigns for failing to correctly determine a victim's cause of death. Last week, we told you about the story. 61-year-old Ray Neal found dead in his Lawrenceville home in Gwinnett County. The medical examiner, actually, the investigator, Shannon Byers, concluded that he died of natural causes. And she reached that conclusion despite the fact that police were suspicious of the scene, which had very large amounts of blood in 2 rooms. When the funeral home workers arrived to move Neal's body, they found injuries on his neck. And an autopsy concluded he was stabbed to death. So we tracked down the chief medical examiner in Gwinnett to ask how something like this could happen.
Do you see how she could conclude that, or was it just sloppy work?
Of course, I won't say it's sloppy work, but it was a very dark scene. The position in which the individual was could lend to where those injuries could be overlooked.
Now, we have learned an internal investigation was already underway when Byers resigned. Turning now to campaign 2020. Get your DVRs ready. Tonight kicks off the second round of debates for Democratic presidential candidates. 10 of them are going to face off in Detroit. Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren are the top polling politicians in tonight's matchup. Now, the debate, once again, spread over 2 nights so that 20 candidates can be accommodated. You can follow along with every update in campaign 2020 through the CBS46 app. Just download it for free by texting CBS46 to 23765.
Now, later today, the man that those candidates would like to replace in the White House, President Trump, will visit one of the country's oldest cities. The president will be in Jamestown, Virginia, honoring the 400th anniversary of the first legislative assembly. That meeting formed the basis of today's representative system of government in the United States. Virginia's entire legislative Black Caucus plans to boycott the president's visit. The leaders are citing the president's, quote, degrading comments toward minority leaders as one reason for not attending.
Hey, the Federal Aviation Administration launching a formal investigation into Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The world's busiest airport is operated by the city of Atlanta, and the FAA is alleging the city unlawfully used federal grant money, more than $962 million since 1982, for non-operating or capital expenses. And that includes attorney's fees. A city spokesperson says they are, quote, surprised by this filing. The city has 30 days to respond.
Happening today, an important message for all Metro Atlanta drivers. School in many areas getting ready to begin. In some places, it's already started.
That's right. AAA, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, Gwinnett County Schools, and a whole lot of other organizations are reminding the drivers to share the road with the school buses. The school's Open Drive Carefully campaign kicks off today. It's designed to remind the drivers and students also how to stay safe once school buses begin rolling through our neighborhoods. Time now to check in with Molly. Weather today, gonna see some more showers somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a few showers right now to the west of Atlanta. They're very isolated. Otherwise, it's warm when you step out the door. And we're gonna stay warm for the next couple of hours. Eventually, we will climb into the 90s this afternoon with a pretty good chance of seeing a passing shower or storm past the lunchtime hour. Not everybody will see one, and most of it will just be rain with the potential for an isolated thunderstorm or two. This will continue into the evening hours, and once we get past sunset, this will start to weaken and fizzle out with an additional chance and a very similar chance for Wednesday. The chances of rain and more widespread thunderstorms do pick up towards the end of the week, especially on Friday, and temperatures will fall back down into the upper 80s by the weekend. No one day looks like a complete washout. Gravir, Karen.
All right. Thank you so much, Molly. And thank you for joining us. For updates on those stories and all the other news you're going to need throughout the day, all you have to do is download our free CBS 46 News app.
Yep, make it a good one.